Is there. Fizz, Alistair and Azir have been banned out by Taipei Assassins. That does mean 2 picks have already come in. Catching up because we are falling behind a little bit. Kassadin, first pick for Saigon Jokers. But it does mean they've given Na and Rek'Sai to the Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, I mean, like in my perspective, if you're like a super good team, then first picking Kassadin is worth it to give up those 2 champions maybe. The Rek'Sai is kind of questionable because you could have maybe banned him instead of Syndra. But yeah, I really like Kassadin first pick a lot in almost every situation, and we just have to see how the team plays it out because it was banned last game.
Yeah, I think Kassadin as first pick is a really good thing to do, just to pick. He has sort of counters, you know, in the mid lane 1v1, but overall Kassadin will always get kills, will always get farm, and he will always be useful enough, you know. So it's definitely a good first pick. The problem is that the exchange is Gnar plus Rek'Sai, which is maybe too much, you know.
Well, with the Jarvan and Andy locked in there, it is not a bad team for Saigon Jokers so far, but a quick counter. We're going to see Chowie on LeBlanc and Lupin on Corki.
So Kassadin is already locked in, and then you early pick a LeBlanc, which gives Saigon Jokers right now the opportunity to just send the Kassadin mid lane against LeBlanc, which is like the hardest counter LeBlanc has in the game right now. And if they actually manage to pick Irelia right now, which I would love to see, if they lock in that Irelia, we have seen how the matchup works in Irelia versus Gnar. Irelia and Jarvan should completely destroy this 2-2, even when Rek'Sai has a lot of damage. But just if the Irelia gets that small advantage, we just saw that she just destroys Gnar in lane 1-on-1, even under his own tower. But we see Nidalee maybe. I'm not sure if I agree with that one.
Well, it's not been locked in just yet. We'll wait to see, of course, how it goes.
Rumble is also really good. I mean,
yeah, but maybe it doesn't. I mean, it works, of course, with Kassadin, but it doesn't synergize that well, like all the champions do, you know?
It does. They have Jarvan. Jarvan always has been historically the Jarvan Rumble combo has been really very, very potent. But yeah, like I said, Irelia, I really like the draft from Saigon Jokers. So actually, they have a lot better. Like if they played out correctly, focus on the top lane again in the 1-on-1, they have a very good chance of winning this game. Just depending on the draft, and as opposed to the last game, I would actually say that they did a lot better job in this game. Yeah.
I think TPA committed a little mistake, which is picking LeBlanc too early, just like you said.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little mistake, and also the reason they picked Leona for is purely 2v2 because Leona hard corners Annie after level 3-ish. So if Annie Silver lane managed to lane swap, then Leona will be completely useless because what can Leona do if she's not tanky enough getting levels, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely think that TPA, if both teams would have been on an equal playing field, that the LeBlanc pick early was definitely like a mistake here because it just allowed Saigon Jokers to open up the lanes how they wanted it to be and have like 2 counter lanes prepared. So both solo lanes on the side of Saigon Jokers are a lot stronger, whereas the bot lane is probably like weaker. So it just depends on the jungler how they make use of their champions. And we have seen Rek'Sai with a lot of success, but also seen Jarvan with a lot of success. So it just depends on how they play it out, because I really like both team comps going into this game.
I see something that should happen this game if TPA is smart, which is if you pick if you pick Leona to counter Annie in the 2v2 lane, you won the 2v2 lane. Therefore, you need to go level 1, just all in, just try to get as much information as possible about whether or not they are lane swapping. And for that, they need to go in level 1, and they don't have the best level 1 possible, actually. They have an okay level 1, but it's not better than the one that that Saigon Jokers has. So maybe a problem here.
Well, we'll see whether they go for it. We are about to get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 getting underway. The Taipei Assassins, they're 1-0 up from a very, very strong game 1. No doubt about that one. Saigon Jokers were completely outclassed in that first matchup. We'll see whether it is different, though, here in Game 2. Saigon Jokers, quick roster rundown for you. Starting out is going to be Nixwater in the top lane. He is on Aurelia. Safety is on Jarvan. Lavida, is in the mid lane. He's going to be on Kassadin. Prince and Sue on the bottom lane. That is Siva and Annie.
And for the Taipei Assassins... My microphone.
There we go.
There we go. I'm back. That just shows you I've not really said much in picks and bans, right? Because my mic was off the whole time. But yeah, for the Taipei Assassins, we have Morning on Gnar, Wins on Rek'Sai in the jungle, Chowie on LeBlanc in the mid lane, and the duo of Lupin and Jay on Corki and Leona. So, as we get into this one, how is it all going to go down? It has to be a better start this time around for the Saigon Jokers. As Demon rightly mentioned, Game 1 was not a pretty affair, not a close game whatsoever. Saigon Joker's got a lot of work to do here if they're to come back in this best of 3 and try and get through to the final, where the Yoi Flash Wolves are, of course, waiting after their victory earlier on in the day over AHQ.
Well, of course, the big difference in this game is that the cameraman is back in action and he's working fully to his full potential. Well, we've only had 2 minutes in the game. Let's not get carried away on that one. But at the moment, it is going to be a simple start out. Morning going to be leashing, looks like, 4 wins. Meanwhile, Saigon Jokers, they're 3-manning it in their jungle.
They're 3-manning it again, which, if you start the red buff, it tells me that you want to go for an early level 2 gank right now with the red buff. And I assume it's going to be bot lane, because they want to snowball that bot lane really hard.
Well, they tried it in the last game as well, in the top lane, actually. We'll see if this time around is a little more successful for them. That mid lane, of course, Chowie versus Lavida, Kassadin versus LeBlanc, and Jovan is going down towards this bottom lane. So let's see if Safety can actually get in. It's going to be Corki that they go for first. There is a flash away from Lupin, but can Jay escape this one? There's a lot of damage coming down. He will flash out. Summon a heal will be used, and Safety actually taking a lot of damage. I think if Leona had have actually put an ignite on him there, they might have even got the kill.
Much more successful gank. Burn all the summoner spells, bar Jay's ignite, whereas they didn't use anything themselves this time around. Saigon Jokers. That was a good gank attempt, even if they didn't get a kill.
So, if Annie would have just charged up her stun, her W at level 1, because they had no Jarvan at the red buff, right? If she had the stun ready, it would have been the first buff 100%. So I think it was actually like a lot of misplayed potential from like Saigon Jokers, because that gank should have worked 100%.
Well, ifs, buts, and maybes is certainly what happened down there. They didn't get the kill, didn't get the first blood, but they did burn a lot. We'll see whether Safety does pay another visit. But remember, the counter to that argument is that Wins, while that was all happening, was clearing his entire jungle, has, of course, got himself that level advantage. We'll see if that works out.
We saw Jarvan actually recalling without his jungle item, which is very bad, because you're missing out on 30 extra gold each time you clear camp. And I'm not sure if I like that.
Well, it's a little slow around. Obviously, he's just done his blue buff. See where he's going to go next. Actually, he's going in towards the enemy jungle at this point. May look to come around the back of LeBlanc, who is actually pushed up heavily in this mid lane. Always going to be difficult to lock down a LeBlanc who's got distortion, got flash available. Not really going to do anything there, and he backed away from it. Chowie will actually just recall. He got a nice deep pink ward there, a ward there that often goes unnoticed for a longer time.
So yeah, what he's trying to do right now, he's planning ahead, the jungler of Saigon Joker. So what you want to do, you have that Aurelia against the Na, and you want to get control over the side of this lane. So in 2 or 3 minutes, maybe we can actually see a level 6 gank from the Jarvan in the top lane, and then trying to shut down the Na.
Well, Na transforming actually in the top lane as that blue buff's been done. You see there a lot of damage onto Nyxwater. Will that force him back? He is recalling, so that means at least 1 full wave here for Morning without any pressure whatsoever. And should be able to shove this into the tower as well. There's also the Scuttle Crab taking 4 wins on the bottom side, and they're actually going to go roaming here through the enemy jungle. I'm trying to figure out if there's a ward down.
Nothing. No, there's nothing.
They've not seen them,
They're going unseen. They do see Sue's going back as well. Prince is going to recall, but I don't think he's going to get away in time. He will step away. Rek'Sai comes around the side, tries to jump in, instantly locked up there. They throw everything at them, but that's a failed gank attempt from TPA.
Managed to get the flash and summon a heal there. If we look for what they exchange that for, just the ignite really out of Chowie. So they might still be happy with that one, considering that they could probably come back around and have a go at Annie a little bit later on once he now gets back into that lane. But if we look down the CS, the lead is on the side of TPA again in the bottom lane, that top lane. It's only slight numbers here. Lavida does have a slight advantage over Chowie in the mid, so definitely closer, I think we can safely say, when it comes to farming this second game.
Yeah, already much closer, no doubt. Safety's going to come around. There is a pink ward in the death bush. Chowie is actually waiting off the sides. A lot of pink wards down here from the Taipei Assassins. I feel that They were probably looking to try and get that gank and go straight for an early dragon here with the amount of pink wards they invested, but are getting swept out. Saigon Joker's coming in there. They found the one. They should find the second if they go into that bush, but instead, Jay is playing it cautiously. Didn't want to get caught out by the combo. Safety will spot that second pink ward. So suddenly that was a costly investment for Taipei Assassins that has been cleared.
Wards down. Also, Levita did some good damage onto Chowie, who's got a second Doran's ring in there. So for the other side, will be casting, working as fast as he can towards his Rod of Ages. Started with that Crystalline Flask. Both bottom laners actually not bought up anything at this stage either, with just the Doran's Blades and those health potions in there. We can see now Annie just trying to zone out Corki. May even think about going back after this next wave. Meanwhile, Wins is down on the bottom side, so
TP.
Will they actually try something here? There is going to be a teleport coming down on towards this bottom side. Morning's already there. There is a transformation, knocks them back with the ultimate. That's the first kill. The second one will follow. It's first blood for Corki, the second kill for Rek'Sai, and just like that, TPA showing that they really are on the same page here.
Very good TP from that, because now you knew that the flash of Annie was actually down, so it was a very good gank.
Well, Taipei Assassins, yeah, I mean, they burned the flashes in the last match. They didn't burn in the last match, the last gank attempt, and they just simply returned straight back down there. It's like once you burn them summoner spells, make use of it, go back, get those kills once again. Dragon is picked up this time around, so that investment they put heavily into it, taking that Scuttle Crab down, losing those pink wards, has suddenly paid off. Nixwater tries to put pressure on that top lane turret, but again was pushed so far back by Morning that it's effectively done nothing to the tower. So no trade coming out from Saigon Jokers either. It is the TPA team once again coming out ahead.
So yeah, I'm not sure what Safety has been doing the entire game, because he just recalled at 7 minutes to get his upgraded jungle item, and he actually kept clearing his jungle without having the upgrade, which means you lose 30 gold each time you clear a small camp, which can mean if you just clear 2 camps, you almost have a ward and invest it into vision. And what he should do in this game, if you just look at picks and bans, he should be on the top side of the entire game. He even set up the vision in the red side jungle, which he did really good in the early game, but then he did actually not go through, like he did all the preparation work and then just abandoned the lane, which he shouldn't have done.
I'm looking at Levita as well. It's like the weirdest start build towards a Rod of Ages. I don't think I've ever seen anyone for a long time not go Catalyst to the Protector first, go for that Rod. It's like, I'm going to get AP, yeah, because I'm going to do a lot at level 7 on my Cassidin, while the other guys basically not going to get touched because Chowie's got Flash and that Distort that you can just zip away from you. So it's a very strange setup from Levita here. Clearly looking to try and make plays, trying to get some kills, but there is a gank building up for Nixwater here in this top lane.
So yeah, in that matchup, you don't really need to sustain because LeBlanc can't really do anything against you.
And Nixwater, though, is sadly in a little bit of trouble here. They saw Leona was actually tanking up the tower. He's done well here to stay alive for as long as he has, though. Will finally go down. Nah was the one tanking the tower in the end, and he will just hop away from that one. They're going to take the first tower of the game here. Actually, Jay just recalling underneath it. They want to get rid of all those minions, waste as much farm as they can. As a Saigon Joker's actually trying to play a bit of a counter on the bottom side, but they're not going to take this tower without having to tank at least a couple of hits. Actually, no, the next wave of minions did just come through in the nick of time from that one. So turret trade here, 1 apiece on that front.
Blue buff's being stolen away by both sides as well. We do see Saigon Jokers immediately moving straight over. Safety will clear this one down. Will they give it to Sue, I wonder? That's gonna... Yes, they will, actually. They've given it across to Sue, I think.
I don't think they were
I think Levita came across as like, I want this. God damn it, you stole it away from him. While that was all happening, of course, Wins did the exact same thing and took away the blue buff. You can see that on him. He's going to get himself the double as the red buff goes down. So, Taipei Assassins having a somewhat harder game this time around, but 3-0 up still, 1,000 gold ahead. Got that dragon in the bag. I feel they still are somewhat in control of this matchup.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, usually the Na should have been behind by now, and the way the game was set up, they should have died. Like, Na should have died once or twice at least, with the way the Jarvan was setting up the vision, which he didn't do. And right now they're kind of in a really bad position because they have a losing matchup, winning really hard already, and he's gonna outscale Aurelia really hard.
Well, he's about to turn into Meganar. Nick's Water's gone for it. Not too sure this is a wise idea. And uses that Blade Surge to zip away. Just baited him into turning that passive changing.
I mean, if you look at last game, at the same time, Aurelia was diving the Na, and she's just too far behind right now to actually do something to him. Even when she completes the Triforce, it's gonna be too late to actually duel him in a one-on-one situation. So what they should do is just try to make picks work with the Kassadin, who's actually doing very good right now. 91 CS as opposed to 80 CS, slowly finishing the Rod of Ages, and once he has the Rod of Ages, he has to take control over this game back.
See if he can actually do this one, Lavida. I see Chowie been trying to harass him down, but kind of difficult with that Crystalline Flask in there, just regenning everything straight back up. And holding that CS lead as well. We see the gold actually, it is Lavida that's ahead on that front. Around about 300 gold is his advantage. Chowie's actually stood on top of a ward there, and Lavida is going to come around. I think he might have the damage to finish off Chowie. There is Jarvan diving in. He's actually locked himself up a little bit there. Safety will get the kill, but can he actually escape this one? There is Jay throwing out a Zephyr. Doesn't actually land, and they're going to finish off Safety. Not a Zephyr, that's not what it's called. That's from that comes from Janna. Meanwhile, Lupin in trouble as well on this bottom side. Prince going to pop the ulti. There's no tower to run away to. And well, you can't escape a Kassadin in this situation. Prince will pick up that kill. Saigon Joker's actually managing a couple of kills there.
Well, and they had teleport on Morning. They just chose not to use it. He could have quite easily gone down there as the Meganar and done some serious damage. So instead, they chose to, you know, let the Aurelia go down there. Nick's Water teleporting in, and then just try and put some pressure on this tower. So they're playing for the long game here, Taipei Assassins. Or more to the point, they're happy to just lose a couple of kills because they know they're gaining overall.
Nick's Water actually caught out Jay on the bottom side as well. Was doing quite the chunk of damage to him. But as you mentioned, Morning continuously pushing on this top side of the map. Safety got no tankiness to him at this point. In fact, he had a brutalizer about a minute ago. I'm pretty sure.
He did. There it is. He's changed.
So Dexter.
Oh, he went for the enchant.
He had the enchant.
Yeah.
It cost 180 gold. I mean, I'm not sure how they come back at this game right now, because it just... TPA is already very far ahead in terms of like team compositions, and it's gonna be very hard to actually manage to make a comeback. Like, the only hope Saigon Jokers actually has in this game is to make the Kassadin pick work and let him just assassinate people.
Well, not looking...
Color, you confused?
Yeah, I don't know. Dragon there started off slightly by
Actually getting
TPA.
this tower maybe, when they group up in mid lane.
Well, we'll see whether they go for it. Teleport's available for Morning. We'll see whether he's going to jump in. At the moment, they are going to pile in on that mid turret. It looks like TPA may have to give this one up. They can't counter it. Yeah, that will be the mid turret. Remember, Dragon is up as well. And at the moment, Taipei Assassins, they're having to play a lot more passive. Saigon Jokers, suddenly, they have the teamwork, or certainly the team fight potential to keep TPA away.
Still holding that bottom side of River. TPA not planning on leaving it anytime soon. Irelia is going to be going back, and actually there is Tibbers coming straight out of things, and we can see off to the side, Safety just got no HP really, not tanky whatsoever. They're able to pick him off, and with the jungler down, that means a certain Dragon.
Yep, that's going to be a very easy pickup. That will be Safety going down. Dragon picked up. TPA number 2 on the board. Aurelia had also gone off to the side. Nick's Water. And that is going to be Sue getting picked off. So not only do they get the Dragon, they get a very easy support kill in that mid lane. And ooh, if Prince doesn't be a little bit careful about pushing forward, they may actually push on here. Lavida may have to back away. No, he clears the way. Good job with the Force Pulse. And it will keep him off that mid turret for now.
So yeah, TPA realized that they have a TP advantage because Aurelia used it before, and that was a very good TP used by Morning actually. Realizing the opponent's top lane, we have the Dragon spawning right now, and then they made a catch and just capitalized on poor positioning from Saigon Jokers.
Pushing up through now by the red buff. Actually, I see Wins is actually doing that red here. This could be a little bit dangerous for him. The ward will just get sight of him, but he's already finished off that red buff. And the small part of the count going to be just farmed away there by Cassin. That's all they get for that little roam on that top side. A couple of wards were put down in the meantime, though. And at the same time, Chowie was just collecting his blue buff from the bottom side of the map. Levita will go back over and get his blue. Meanwhile, Wins has just used his ultimate, and he's going to look to take both reds.
Sneaky. Knew that they'd pushed in on their own camp, so he's like, fine, if you're going to try and cover off my jungle. They knew the timing, because remember, it was Wins that took the blue buff just a moment ago, so he knew exactly where that jungler would have to be around that camp. Quickly gets in. Good timing, good counter work from Wins there. It will be the top lane now. Saigon Jokers should secure this one. It is only Morning that is nearby. He's just going to play it passively, but they're giving up the mid lane. Look at this. Taipei Assassins all pile in there. I think they're going to keep going.
And why not? I mean, they can keep going here. There is the tower on that top side, obviously down, but look at this. There are 3 men hammering away. There is Annie coming in. They managed to stun up 2 of them. Have they got the damage to finish off? That flash has burned. Safety will try to get in there. Doesn't manage it. Meanwhile, Chowie is pushing the bottom lane as well. And I think this tower will, it certainly will now, because the rest of the team actually moving onto the south side of the map. Chowie going to be taking turret number 3 here for TPA.
Saigon Joker's going to shove that mid lane now. They've realised that everybody's rotated down the bottom. They're just going to try and push up and do as much damage as they can. Prince in there will wipe the wave out. Not going to get close enough. They don't feel confident enough to push onto that tower. They could have at least got a wave of damage down on it. Instead, they're going to back away. It is now Taipei Assassins tied up on turrets, 3 apiece. 6 doing kills. Just a 3,000 gold differential. Very different at this stage. Last match in game 1, we were talking about the first inhibitor going down, closing in the 18-minute mark. Big difference in games.
So yeah, the biggest difference between those 2 games is actually, you can see that Saigon Jokers actually did like a smart thing. They traded the top lane tower for the mid lane tower, and when you're behind, you want to trade objectives, even if it means, yeah, the enemy gets gold, but you have something to work with. So as opposed to last games, they actually have like better rotational gameplay, and they just missed some kills because of individual mistakes, but the team play seems to be like a lot better overall in game 2 here right now.
What's the plan? Sivir on the bottom side there. We can see a ward there even when those minions do go through. And they are going to just wait. Setting up inside of the tri-bush as Morning clears out on the top side. There's the diving from Chow, and they almost kill off 2. They will be finished with the solar flare coming out. Safety also trying his best to rush away from this one. Wins going deep. He actually did get the kill there on Safety, just blasting him down in the end. And that will be a trade of the 2 junglers, plus Annie picked off as well. So 2 for 1 in favor of the Taipei Assassins.
Another TP used as well. So Nyx Water's teleport was down. It worked out in their favor. They did get that counter kill, but it does give Morning a little bit of free reign in this top. He shouldn't do too much damage to the tower. They've all gone back to base and they're coming back around there. So Morning is instead going to use his time to cover off that lower half of the jungle. But it does mean that he can continue that split push. And Nyx Water, when this dragon spawns in 2 minutes time, will not have his teleport.
See what they do about that one. I mean, obviously losing out on the first 2. Similar to what we saw in game number 1, but definitely closer. I mean, we're almost done in game number 1 after this point. As Morning there going to be spotted. There are 3 men waiting around. Ward put over into the red buff as well. But playing this one quite defensively, and Taipei Assassins only really going for...
How the hell did they see him? I have no idea how they saw him, but you can see him on the map.
That.
A little strange. Didn't see exactly how they caught a glimpse of him, but they knew he was there. They do see Annie peeking out the side as well, so they're well aware of this setup. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Morning's actually sitting. He's going to go aggressive. Is he on towards Nyx Water? No, he's just going to bounce away. Meganar turn in any second now. Nyx Water turn and a run. Get away from that big beastie while the rest of Taipei Assassins down the bottom. Oh, he gets the bounce. He gets the Gnar. Nyx Water has to run for his life now. He's going to get the brick house thrown towards him any second. That will catch on. The slow is there. The pounce will come back in any second now. Just coming off the cooldown. Doesn't need it. Slams him into the river.
1 versus 1 kill. Not exactly ideal at this point, but Morning
I don't understand why he's stuck around. I don't understand. All he's got is the Triforce. We'd already talked about it, like how he is not going to win that matchup now. It was too late. Instead, we're going to see Saigon Jokers running around the side. They're trying to get on towards TPA, but look at that disengage. That was the Sivir ultimate burn to try and catch them out the side. TPA knew it was coming.
So yeah, the idea was good behind it, but just they're too far behind to execute those things, and that's something they should realize at this point, that all they have to do right now is just have Kassadin farm up some more. He needs his Zhonyas right now. If he has the Zhonyas, he can actually do a lot more in teamfights, and maybe then they can actually potentially win this game.
Well, looks like they'll be losing out on the third dragon here. There is the Scrying Orb used, but it's going to be too late for them. That one goes down. Are they going to get in? Oh, Zenith Blade missing. And actually, even the Solar Flare not connecting. But there is Morning. He's got himself TP'd in Mega Norm 4. And that is going to be the first kill. Meanwhile, Safety at the back there. Not really sure what Safety was thinking. And he will go down for a 4th time in this game. And that puts TPA up to 11-3 now.
I mean, they saw the dragon is gone. I'm not sure why they would ever go into that area. They saw all people, they knew dragon is gone, and then they got put into the position where they just lose 2 members and potentially like the tower right now.
Uh-oh, pop-up, Wins comes out, there's another kill, that's Nyx Water going down, the Aurelia drops, Prince is taken down, the tower will fall, a deep dive from Jay as well, and the ace will come out. It was a delayed ace though, we can see the respawns just about coming in, but that inhibitor turret will fall. The Taipei Assassins, oh, they pounced again, Sue's gonna get destroyed, chomped down. Chowie gets himself another on the board, and suddenly the Taipei Assassins, from a very close, tight game, are fully in control. A 9,000 gold lead in a matter of minutes.
And that's just going to, I think, snowball out of control here as well. With that third dragon going their way, inhibitor now down. They've all got decent gold to spend. I say decent, there's 2.7 on the top laner, 2,000 on the jungler, pretty much 2,000 on the AD carry and the support to spend after that. So lots of big items coming down. 2 Randuins, a Banshee's Veil for Morning. Rek'Sai ultimate use there. Wynn's just getting himself back into a farm position. And maybe that is just enough to tip the balance of this game now for the Taipei Assassins. Up 5-3 in towers. It's almost a 10,000 gold lead coming in as well. What's the next plan here? Jay actually just going to be sat inside the death
it's
brush.
a trap, it's a trap.
Yeah,
Jay's
it's going to be a slow trap here. There's the Solar Flare actually not connecting, but Wins comes in from the side. Nyx Water's going to be the first man down. Zenith Blade onto Safety, who will die once again. This time it's Wins that picks up that kill, and now Tsu going to be chased by Morning. He's going to transform any second. Can he get on top of them here to throw down his ultimate? Not quite. It was the ulti out of Prince that got them away to safety, but TPA are going to run into the base. They're going to go towards those Nexus turrets now, surely.
Super minions coming up the mid lane. They've got everything they need to just take down those Nexus turrets. This should be game 2 complete here. They're just going to hold back. Now they can pounce. Zoo on next to nothing. Will not get taken away. Gets onto the fountain. First Nexus turret goes down. Second is dropping, looping, doing the damage. They will back away. They're not going to get the finish here. Or are they? They turn it back around. Levina getting dropped. They do get a counter kill of their own. They're going to jump on towards it. Looping, just baiting around. Safety will finish them off. Taipei Assassins, they're going to get wiped out. No! The big Nah comes out. They managed to knock him down. Get on towards Sue. They just can't quite finish him off. Focus on a single target. Wins will get 1 down. Morning will get a second. Safety should be able to get Wins down. A lot of shutdown bonuses being picked up by the Saigon Jokers here. Safety, I don't think he's going to live here. Yes, he will, just about. And actually, the ace comes out for the Saigon Jokers. But I think that's just simply hanging on by a dear thread, because all Nexus turrets down. Taipei Assassins just thought, let's just try and finish quick here. It didn't work out for them, but wow. They are in deep trouble now, the Saigon Jokers. Remember, they are 1 game from going out of this one. Taipei Assassins, 1 foot in that finals.
Yeah, and that would set us up with an all LMS final as well. That'd be certainly interesting to watch, considering it'd be the number 1 and number 2 teams as well. But Saigon Jokers not quite out of this one just yet, although, as you rightly said, I think 1 foot is definitely dangling in tomorrow's final here for TPA, with no Nexus turrets left. We'll see if they can push through for a finish. There's another Dragon coming up, would be the 4th of the game for TPA if they're able to get in there and collect that one. Currently they're hanging around here over the back by that blue buff. I'm going to try and bully them. The Saigon Jokers have to be so careful in this scenario not to get out positioned, because they'll just simply push on through and kill off their base.
Yeah, TPA just looking for kills now. Jay's got that ultimate backup. If they go and group in the wrong spot, he will make it count. Lupin actually took a good burst of damage from Levita there. So they've got to be careful they don't get a little carried away. They're trying to bait them into the jungle. I don't think Saigon Jokers are going to fall for it. They're going to stick around their towers. So instead, TPA will go back and start out the Baron.
Start and probably finish before the Saigon Jokers get anywhere near it as well.
Well, Nixwater's having to deal with super minions. He's got teleport up. He's looking to try and get engaged here, but TPA, they're going to peel.
Yeah, turning around onto this one. There is a solar flare coming in. They're going to get rid of Annie before he can do anything. Does get Tibbers out there right at the very end, but I think it might be too little too late here. Nixwater joins the fight. Will go down instantly. Prince will be the next focus for Morning and wins. They finish him off easily, and then it should have left a Chowie on the backside. That's another ace coming in for the Taipei Assassins. A TP into the base, and this is going to be the victory.
That is it. Taipei Assassins will join Yowie Flash Wolves. I nearly got it wrong there. Yowie Flash Wolves in the finals. That will be tomorrow. It will be a best of 5. Taipei Assassins have looked very strong, though, for a second day running. They dominated the quarterfinals yesterday. They've dominated the semifinals, and they've already taken a game off the Yowie Flash Wolves in the league. Can they do it in that finals? I think we're on for a big game tomorrow. I think it's going to go all the way.
I mean, it was before we even went into this tournament, it was probably the anticipated match that the Wolves are gonna play against the Taipei Assassins in the final.
Fantastic victory. There's the handshakes coming in for the Saigon Jokers. You know, game number 2 definitely a better effort than game number 1, which went wrong right from the very get-go, right from the picks and bans. But this one certainly giving a valiant effort at the start, but TPA showing once again that they're just too strong.
I mean, we can't discredit the Saigon Jokers too much here. At the end of the day, Taipei Assassins are the superstars of that region. You know, they are, while they're not in the same league, the LMS and obviously the mix of the GPL, etc., they are thrown into the Southeast Asia bundle, effectively, and Taipei Assassins have been at the top of that bundle for 3-4 years already. So no surprises there that they did sweep aside the Saigon Jokers. But looking at the teams now, what do we rate them? Obviously, Yowie Flash Wolves, you know, at the end of the day, their team fighting has looked exquisite over the last few games. You know, Ocelot was talking about it in the last match, the last best of 3 we had. They look the real deal.
Yeah, definitely. I believe there's these 2 teams that are actually ahead of the others. You can say they are ahead of the curve, and they know what's up in the meta. They actually play a little bit alike the Koreans, you know. And something that you guys said already before, which is they are actually training against Korean teams, and you can see. I mean, the way they play is really similar. The way they move around the map is really similar. The way they ward, etc. It's just a very basic game plan, A, B, C, but it's really hard to pull out, and they're pulling it out very well.
The question is, are the Yowie Flash Wolves better than Taipei Assassins? We've already seen that they've played in their domestic lead. Taipei Assassins won that one, but, you know, it's a best of 5 tomorrow, this grand final, and a best of 5, I think, if you're going to pull off an upset, might be the way to go there, considering how well the Yowie Flash Wolves have played as well. I mean, AHQ weren't that much trouble for them in today's semi-final.
Yeah, and AHQ, 4th in that league, swept aside by Yowie Flash Wolves. Game 1, again, was a fairly solid victory. Game 2, they had a few little problems, but then they just stepped it up again. Their team fighting was so strong. And that's one of the things. Taipei Assassins haven't really been tested, I feel, so far in this tournament. Obviously, you know, they are into the 3rd week of their league already, so they've played against the Yowie Flash Wolves, etc. So, well prepared. Overall, you'd have to say Taipei Assassins obviously are the favourites going into it. They are top of the league at the end of the day. They've already picked up a win just 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when they took down Yowie Flash Wolves. I'm certainly going to be watching that game tonight because I need to see what that's going to be like for tomorrow's matchup. But what do you think, Dexter? How do we see this going? Obviously, we're talking about the mighty wins that's on Taipei Assassins, but honestly, Yowie Flash Wolves have not looked bad.
So what we saw from Wolves, if I would be in Taipei's position right now, I would know that, okay, they like Morgana as a support, very potent pick for them, and sets up everything. Xerath as a mid laner has been seen a lot of play, and they'd like to combo those two things. So what I would see from the Taipei Assassins, probably like a Morgana or Xerath ban, to potentially shut down their main composition or their main strategy coming into this tournament. And in a best of 5, you want to adjust as far, like, you want to be flexible. You need to come in as prepared as possible. And if they realize, okay, if that's their main strategy coming into this tournament, we're just gonna ban out those champions, and then they have nothing else to offer. And just practicing against those teams, they probably played them a couple of times in scrims and practice against them, played them in a league. They know what the team has to offer too, you know. They know, like, that's why I think TPA is gonna win this game probably, because they're like the more flexible team, what I've seen in the tournament so far.
And the question is then, you know, get rid of Morgana. Are they a better team? I mean, just from what we've seen, who's impressed you more out of AHQ and TPA?
I think, from what I could see, I think AHQ, I mean, it's hard to measure, you know, because the opponents, I don't play in that region, so I don't know exactly how good or bad they are in comparison. But I think AHQ did slightly better moves. Although I have to say on favor of the opponents that they always had either the Morgana plus Jarvan, which is a very good combo, etc. You know, it's really easy actually to sort of create that synergy 2v2, that jungle and support 2v2, because it's just Morgana is the best for that. So maybe we can see tomorrow a Morgana ban, and I think the game plan will change slightly. Because I mean, that's how they play. You know, they play with Morgana 24/7, just catching people, trying to, you know, just poking them down. Binding, that guy is chunked 20%, free Drake, etc., etc. That's how they play. And if you get Morgana out of the triangle, it may be the reason to win.
Well, I'm certainly very excited about it. We'll have to see how it works out. Stake versus Morning in that top lane. Chowie versus Maple in that mid lane. It's a lot of big matchups, certainly. That's all going to be tomorrow. It is going to be the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei Grand Finals. It will be a best of 5. Be sure to join us then. We'll be starting at the same time once again. I believe it's the same time.
Yeah.
I hope it's the same time. But don't forget to join us then. It will be fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Semifinals have been great. We are done here. We will see you tomorrow.